1, 2 is the song. If you remember that, put it in the comments. Welcome back to the channel, people. KG is back. It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a dope video to watch, but you know, it is what it is. We are back. Club football is coming back, and I can't wait. I absolutely can't wait. Going to talk about Jesse Marsch's press conference here. Give our predictions for the Leeds Man City game as well. So put that in the comments as well. Hit the likes. You know, I don't really care about subscribing. Just hit the likes and continue to watch. Just a bit of housekeeping. Thank you. Big thank you to Super Thanks donators on the last video. Genghis Khan's mom, Graham Randall, Joel Rosa, and big shout out to Liam Moore, who's a huge supporter of the channel. So big up to you, Liam, and thank you as always. Man, where do we even start from here? Where do we start? Let's have a look. Rusty. Shout out to you, Gavin. Gavin, it's time to start him with Kaka at centre half and then worry about left back, etc. Yeah, and that's in regards to Pascal Struijk, who obviously had his new deal confirmed just yesterday by the club. I know that what is it? Fabrizio Romano had said it about maybe a month ago, maybe at the start of the month, but it was, you know, officially announced by Leeds. Brilliant news. He's here till 2027. That's the timing of the contract anyway. That's what we need. That's the kind of deals that I want to see signed at the club. That's the kind of stuff that I want to see. Excellent news to keep Pascal there. Would love him now to get moved into centre half. That would be nice. We'll see. But we'll see what happens in January, because we got to talk about that as well. Jesse did allude to the January window a little bit, but he doesn't want to talk too much about it. But that tells a little bit of the story, but not everything. And I'll give my reasons why. Bully B in the house. Shout out to you, and shout out to you, Paul Gray. Yep, good afternoon. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to everybody. And Merry Christmas to Bully. Scott Lightning, Pascal had a stinker last night. Lewis is saying, I haven't seen you since last year. It hasn't been that long. It's been a couple of months. It's been a couple of months, but yeah. I was going to do some content during the last tournament, but I just wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling it at all. So I can't lie to you. I can't just put on a game and then talk about it when I've got zero interest in what I'm watching. So I just thought I'd wait until the last tournament was over and then come back just before the game started. I wasn't expecting the press conference to be today, but obviously they're having a little Christmas break, so it's all good anyway. But yeah, listen, Pascal staying is good news. That's one of the contracts I wanted to see signed. Brilliant news, and hopefully that's a sign of things to come with more of the players that I want to stay, or that we should be having staying here. We're going to need to talk about new deals with a couple of our better players as well, especially one that really performed well at the World Cup. I think we know who we're talking about. Damn, I was trying not to say that word. I was trying not to say that the tournament name, but I've already done it now. But one thing I found interesting, I don't know if it alarmed anybody during the tournament, was that we only had 3 players there. There was only 3 players of ours at the tournament, and I was looking through the Premier League list of how many players were gone from each team, and obviously it's about which nations qualify and everything else like that. But 3 is very low. We were keeping company with Bournemouth. We were keeping company with teams like that, and I think that kind of just gives you a little bit of an indication of just where this squad is. So Jesse today was talking about not wanting to talk about new signings and everything else like that as it creates a lightning rod. But I wouldn't expect Jesse to come out, and I wouldn't expect the club to come out and tell you everybody that they've got listed, because that's just stupid. You wouldn't do that. You do your work behind the scenes and then sign them. But what it is for me is that there's a player that we've been constantly linked with, and a lot of you are big fans of him, and I'm a fan of his as well. And I think he'd just be good to bring in, and then we can move Pascal back to centre half, and that's Kai Wagner. Now, Philadelphia Union just had I think their season just finished, or they had a cup or whatever it is. But Paxton's got his move confirmed to Eintracht Frankfurt. I think he's going there. We need to be doing that. And I know you've probably thought you've heard me say this before. Yeah, I said this last year. I said this last December when I said, I wish we would get some of our deals all tied up, and then we can see these players come January 1st, 2nd. But we'll see what happens. This is on the club now to do what they've got to do. Do I think that we'll sign players? We definitely need to. We need to sell some too. But I don't know. They've let me down the last two windows, so I can't confidently sit here and say that we're going to see new faces through the door. I just can't do that after I knew that we needed reinforcements the last two windows and nothing really happened. What is everyone saying? Do you think that we're going to get people in? I mean, as well with the Kai Wagner one as well. I mean, I'm sure he's not the only left back option available, but he's going to be fairly cheap as well. And that seems to be where we're going with this, right? That seems to be where we're going. Lewis saying low knowledge fans not prem proven. No, yeah, you know me, Lewis. I hate that saying. It just makes no sense. Tyler Adams wasn't prem proven. Now, what would we do without him? Gavin Parry's just saying hard to see any points from the next two games, and I fear we start 23 bottom. Poorly run club. Yeah, I mean Napa, yeah, could do with a few defenders. Won't happen though, and you know, I mean, I don't take too much from friendlies, but I think it just shows you, doesn't it? Just the lack of quality in depth that we've got in centre back, you know, in defence in general. Because I even look at the right back area with Christensen, and I wouldn't be opposed if we are losing Drama and hopefully we lose Ailing, that we get another right back to compete with Christensen. I don't think that he's nailed that down completely if we're talking about quality. And I tell you where this comes from as well. And I'm not usually, I do like watching Premier League years, I do. But Lee Bowyer was on TalkSport the other day and he was just talking about his Leeds memories. And man, oh man, it got me thinking. And it led me to watch 99 2000 Premier League years. And just the standard, I just want the standard to be raised for me. I'm not nostalgic about that. I just want to go back to that level at some point. I'm not saying in the next 4 years, 5 years, 10 years. I just want to get back there one day. But it's not going to happen with this current group, and it's not going to happen with some of the names that I've seen us linked with. It's just not going to. But boy, wouldn't it be nice to see Leeds back in those heady heights? And people that follow me on Instagram know what I was looking at and how the league table was looking after 20 games. We were top of the league. I need to see that. I need to see that again. Nige D, at some point in my lifetime anyway. Nige is saying, hi, KG. Shout out to you, Nige. Trust you well. Merry Christmas. Unfortunately, the second half of our season is looking like last season. Rinse and repeat. And yes, Nige, it will be. It will be if we carry on the way that we are. I haven't forgotten. Listen, as much as I've missed Leeds United play and club football, I haven't forgotten that we've only won 4 games out of 14. That's not good enough. And it tells you in bulk that that a lot of the squad isn't good enough. But again, not talking about Jesse today in terms of not talking about exits and arrivals, because you don't do that publicly. But I need some players to go and I need some players coming in. It's as simple as that. And he was talking about today Mateusz Klich. That was a subject because obviously he's been heavily linked with a move away. He's talking about Klich being an important part, but he's saying all this. You can't just say that Mateusz Klich isn't important, but the proof's in the pudding. You see, looking at it from Mateusz Klich's point of view, Greenwood gets on ahead of him. Quite a few players. Nanto gets on ahead of him in that attacking area. So for Mateusz Klich's benefit, it would be good to go. But again, I have my doubts because I feel he should have gone in the summer, but it was comfortable for him to stay, wasn't it? And I just wonder if he's going to be here past January and we don't get in another midfielder. That for me is another mistake that we'd be making, because we see now with the Man City game coming up, no Tyler Adams. The game looks sticky as it is. No Tyler Adams, it makes it even worse because we don't have anybody like Tyler to replace him. So for me, I mean, if you thought I was bad before with wanting certain players out, I'm even worse now because the club's not going anywhere until we start ripping this squad up. I mean, really ripping it up as well. We have to get certain players out of here in order to make room for better and new players. It's as simple as that. There's no sentiment for me on this. Never has been, and there certainly isn't now, especially after watching the 99 2000 years. I just can't have Leeds being just another Premier League club. Doesn't work for me. I'm not saying that we should be pushing for Europe at this stage, but we should be closer than we are now 3 years into this thing. and we're probably closer to the championship. I look at, I tell you what, I'll give you an example. Look at Sheffield United right now. If they were to come up, how much better, really and truly, are we than Sheffield United when you really add it up? Think about that. That's scary for me. The fact that I can't say that Sheffield United, who have been out the Prem now, what is it, 2 years? This will be their second year out. Are we really that much better overall? I don't think so. So we need to get better players. And I want to say something. I don't want to talk about the last tournament too much, but I do want to make a comparison in certain things I did notice. March on podcast, 100% on the money, KG. Though we won 2 games in the winter break, we were lucky in both. The drop off in quality at some positions is scary. It's terrifying. I prefer 2-3 quality loans if we got much money, to be honest. The thing is, they've got enough time marching on. They've had more than enough time. You can get stuff done. You could have got stuff done during the World Cup. We literally have 3 players away. You know what I mean? They could have got stuff done ready for the January 1st window. But we'll see what they're going to do. We'll see what they're going to do. I just hope they are doing stuff behind the scenes. D saying, happy with the comments on Click today. Mars seems to know he needs to build a team around him. He could be our Frank Lampard. Listen, D, I forgot what you're like, D. It's been a while. You know, I've got to get back into this, haven't I? But yeah, shout out to you, man. But yeah, I mean, with the Click thing, it just seems it's a situation where I think they do want him to leave. I think that he probably wants first team football, but it's a situation of, is he going to go? Is he going to actually take the plunge and leave now? We'll just have to keep our eye on this one. Scott Lightning though is saying it's only the defense: Sinistero, Rocket, Adams, Summerfield, Aronson, Nanto. We have plenty of talent. We absolutely do, but Scott, the defense is very important. It's super important. And also in that Scott Lightning as well, it's the backups that you've got to these players. Sinistero is going to be out for a little bit longer. I noticed he was walking around in a walking boot for quite a while. Somerville, who knows what? I think he's coming back pretty soon. I think he said. But it's about having other options behind these guys. It's when you take out these players, the backups aren't as good. They're just not. The depth is not good enough here. Yeah, I was even looking at the tournament and just saying about the last tournament that was played. It's not even that there's brilliant players all over the place. There's a lot of good system players. There's a lot of good players that work well because football today is more tactical. And I noticed that with watching highlights of previous tournaments where you had the individuals that would take the game by the scruff of the neck and do some magic and rule their team on. But now it is more system based. And you saw with a lot of those games during the tournament, it was very methodical, very slow defense, goalkeeper, defense, midfield. You know, it was very methodical in a lot of those games. There was very few individuals apart from your tippy top players like your Messi's, Mbappe. Oh, you know, there's a lot of there's the tippy top players are the ones that we can't get, unfortunately. But the ceiling is very, very low when it comes to good players. And for me, this team isn't nowhere near good. So we need to just get to the base level of being a good team. And we're a ways away from that for me at the moment. Yeah, man, welcome. Yeah, I know it's been a couple months. It's been a couple months. So yeah, man, forgive me if I'm a little rusty. I don't think I'm a bit rusty yet, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. Paul saying there's only Pascal who's decent and he's not playing his correct position. The rest of the back line is a shambles. I'd agree with that, Paul, 100%. Because even myself now, I've gone from benefit of the doubt. I can't keep giving some of these players the benefit of the doubt. They've done nothing to earn it. They've done nothing to earn it, especially at the back. They've done zero to earn it. So, apart from our standouts, Tyler, Brendan, Mark Rucker, I mean, he's debatable to quite a few of you. But apart from a few standout players, there's a lot of our team that we could replace. I was even looking at in the last tournament at Bono and Livakovic. I would easily take one of those over Melier right now. I would easily take one of those over Melier. Because for me, Melier, as much as I like him, I still can't get out of my mind how many times we've had control of a game for 20 minutes, 25 minutes, first attack, first shot, it goes in. and it's happened in quite a few games. He saved us in more matches than not. I'm not taking that away from him. But if we can upgrade in goal, do it. That's where I'm at now. No more sentiment. If you can get someone better, get somebody better. That's where I'm at right now. I don't know how everyone else feels about that. Maybe that's too ruthless for you, but that's just where I am. I'm just sick of seeing my team down in 15th, 14th place, 16th place, just fighting for survival. What fun is that? What fun is that? Alan Kennedy saying Leeds are taking a massive gamble if they don't strengthen in January. Absolutely. Question is, why would they do that? Oh God, sorry, I lost it. Why would they do that? Surely relegation doesn't come into the plans. Also, why haven't they been training tactics? I don't know. I think they have been training tactics, but again, it's about the personnel you got. You can only do so much when the players aren't that good. You know, there's a lot of people that talk about systems and everything else like that, but I say it all the time. Only Jurgen Klopp with that Liverpool team, with the players that he's got, could play that way. Because if we try to play like that, we get ripped apart every week. We could never play that kind of high line. Never work. Man City, their possession-based way of playing, it works because they've got the players to do it. You know, you can make things work, but you've got to get better personnel. Have to. Craig saying, okay, it's been a while. No, it's been a couple months now, doesn't it? It's been a couple months. And Robert, sentiment does not win games. It doesn't. And the thing is, I tell you what, I'm going to give the fan base a bit of credit because at the start of the world, at the last tournament, gotta avoid saying that. At the start of the last tournament, the social media team put out a video. I don't know if you saw it. I didn't watch it, but I saw the two people on the thumbnail. I thought, oh my God. It was Luke Ayling and Adam Forshaw on the video. And thankfully, common sense is starting to prevail, and a lot of fans are starting to see through it. There was a lot of comments saying, I can't believe these two are being featured on the video in 2022. I can't believe these two are still Premier League players. Finally, people are starting to wake up. Not everybody. You're never going to get everybody because some people do love the sentiment of what they did for us. But my God, it's taken a while, but some people are starting to wake up. We should not be featuring these players. And I've seen a lot of Luke Ayling prop. I've seen a lot of Forshaw prop. At the moment in my head, I'm trying to just think of it of a way as they're trying to showcase these players for either a January move or to show that Luke Ayling's good for a new club in the summer. That's how I'm looking at it at this moment in time. Unfortunately, though, we've seen this before, and there could be new contracts coming. And that would say a lot to me as well. Bully B saying KGB also got a tune out of that team 4 years ago, which was bang average. Jesse ain't the answer. Well, Bully B, there's a few things in that. Bielsa absolutely did, but Bielsa is a more of a coach than Jesse Marsh. He's more of a tactician than Jesse Marsh. And that was 4 years ago, Bully B. A lot of these players have overran their welcome. They haven't the legs to do it anymore. A lot of these players were starting that process under Bielsa probably at what, 26, not even 26, 28, 29. They've just run out of gas. It's what happens when you work in a high intensity level. You know, you look at Jordan Henderson at Liverpool. He's only 32, but he looks like he's about 36 because of what he's had to do in that Liverpool system. So yes, he definitely got a tune out of them 4 years ago, and they were also championship footballers there. Listen, Mateusz Klich was one of my favorites in the championship, believe it or not. I know it doesn't sound like it, but that's because I can move on and separate that. He was brilliant in the championship, run for you all day, and he'd score goals, he'd create goals, box to box. He was superb for us then. Premier League, it's been a disaster for the guy. It's been plain and simple a disaster. First couple months of the season, maybe first month when we've got promoted, he was decent. From there, though, he's been poor. But I can see that because I look at things objectively like that. But yeah, Bielsa definitely got a tune out of him 4 years ago, but we shouldn't be talking about these players 4 years later, I'm afraid. Yeah, Nick is just talking about in regards to the social media prop saying, but this old boys propaganda only strengthens my opinion that this board are not going to invest and refresh the squad. I know, Nick, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking why is Forshaw and Ayling getting featured so much? You can only hope it's for future club suitors. You can only hope it's that, and that it's not going to be for new contracts. That's all you can hope for. Napa saying James Milner hasn't aged in 20 years. He still looks 36. Tremendous, tremendous. But yeah, I mean, so I mean, just that's it. That's it with Jesse Marsh in terms of the recruitment and him not wanting to talk about it. I completely understand it. But for me, I don't want to see no more talk. We've seen how much talk over the last couple of months as well. Jesse Marsh talking about we almost signed Gakpo, Radrizzani on social media. We need to see less talking and more action. It doesn't do nothing for me to hear at the end of the transfer window we've signed nobody, but we were in for so and so. It does nothing for me, absolutely nothing, because anyone could say that, can't they? You see Wolves now, and I know some people want me to bring it up. Oh yeah, and Liam Moore, shout out to you. He was on about Mateusz Klich going to Wolves. I mean, are we in line to do any kind of deal like that? I mean, it's initially on loan, but I believe that the fee is going to be 50 million. Do Atletico believe we'll pay him after the whole JK fiasco? Do they think they'll get their money? Because even there, the JKA thing has been solved. It's been resolved, hasn't it? We don't know the terms of it. Nobody does. But they've obviously settled on a fee. Will that have any impact on our January spending? We'll find out, won't we? We'll find out. But we just need to see players come in. Just need to see players come in, man. Uh, Tommy G just saying in other sports. Oh, sorry, hold on a minute. Can everyone still hear me? Yeah. Okay. In other sports, the veteran old guard are still class. At least they're definitely not. No, and Tommy, again, it's not being horrible, and I want to stop giving caveats out for things I'm saying, but it's not being horrible. But it's just about being realistic. I feel embarrassed seeing our social media team putting out posts about some of the players that we've got: Liam Cooper, Luke Ayling, Adam Forshaw. It's embarrassing for me. Like as a Premier League fan, we should not be showcasing these kind of players. I feel embarrassed personally, but that's just me. Ed, Man United fan, saying we'll loan you Brandon Williams. Isn't he injured, man? Isn't he done? Um, Ian J with a super chat. Shout out to you, man. Gun Forshaw and Bamford Furpo. I feel Melier is good. You do the same thing, you get the same result. Bielsa not here to tune up the car. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, listen, again, I don't want to say that I would turf out Melier. Like, I'm not saying that at this point, but I'm just saying if you had the option to go in for a better keeper, I would absolutely do it. No hesitation as well. But yeah, absolutely. Forshaw, Bamford, Furpod, get them all out. Get them all gone. Honestly, just get them all gone. I just wish that everyone would just raise the standard just a little bit, and it starts with the fans as well. It starts with us. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to all of us. You know what I mean? It starts with all of us. Get saying the club is not continuing to move forward. Got away with it last year, but not this year unless we sign 3 quality players in January. Yeah, and Gavin, I would say we need at least 3, but 3 would be lovely, wouldn't it, Gavin? It would really fill in some gaps for us, depending on the position that they sign him in. But I see some links, and they just blow my mind how people would accept them. Like, but anyway, yes, we just need to raise the standard, and Gavin's absolutely right. Getting at least 3 quality players. Marching on podcast saying, I feel sorry for the old guard KG. It's not their fault the club won't sell them and they get banjoed by us. What are they meant to do? Go to the bosses and sell me, I'm not good enough. Oh, absolutely, marching on. I've said this many times before, marching on. It goes past the point, and I use this with Tyler Roberts. It goes past the point where you can keep on hammering Tyler Roberts. You've got to just say, why does he keep on getting playing? Why isn't he being moved on? Oh, I'm absolutely with you. It's not their fault. You're never going to go into your boss's office and say, you know what, boss? I know I'm getting paid a lot of money, but I'm not good enough for this position. Shall I just go somewhere else lower? Because I'm not going to get any better than this. Doesn't happen, does it? And so I completely get your point, but this is where it goes onto the club to get ruthless marching on podcast. This is where they have to say, listen, Mateus, I know that you're umming and ahhing, but you know what? You've got to go, mate. You've got to go. Thanks for everything you've done, but see you later. Luke Ayling, we're on the verge of possibly losing Cody Drame. We need you to go, or you're not getting a new contract. Liam Cooper, Tyler Adams is getting a load of fanfare. He's quite clearly the next captain of the club. We need you to move on. But they're not going to do it. It's not on the players to do it, and I'll never put it on the players. I'll never do that. It's on management to actually grow some backbone. Not just backbone, just stop being so sentimental. But we've seen it at this club. Look how much it took to move out Tyler Roberts. God damn it! And he scored like 2 goals in what, over 100 games. Yeah, it's mad. And Chris Books is saying contracts don't work like that, KJ. I'm well aware of how contracts work, Chris, because you've got to have the club, the buying club, to take on their contract and pay them as much or anywhere near what they're getting here. I'm fully aware of that. But you've got to make moves in order to do it. I'm sure there's some clubs out there that would be willing to take on some of these players. They may not be the most glamorous of clubs, but you've got to. I don't want to sound harsh, but you gotta make it a little uncomfortable for them. You got to make it a little uncomfortable. But we just won't. We just won't. So, per se, and think most Leeds fans are still just happy we're back in the Prem. I agree. Reasonable happy clapping even when we, yeah. Yeah, Napa. I mean, I completely agree. And listen, not every fan is after glory. I had somebody actually message me this a few months ago saying that they would support us no matter what, even if we're in the second division. And that's a romantic way of looking at it, and maybe that's an old school way of looking at it. But if Leeds were, just say Leeds ever did go to the second division again, we'll be out of business. So it can't really work like that. But yeah, I completely agree. I think some people are just happy we're in the Prem with no view of trying to move us up. They're just happy we survive. But I'm not in that camp. I don't want to just survive. Let's have a look. Bandy's in the house. I always got to give Bandy a shout out, man. Talk about raising standards. It would make no odds if we had Messi, Modric, and Mbappe on our books. Marsh tactics are so poor, we'd still get relegated. Shout out to you, Bandy. Shout out to you. But yeah, listen, and Bandy's right. Listen, everything has to improve. The coach, the players, the results, everything has to improve. But that's why January is going to be huge, isn't it? Basically, January is going to be huge. So let's see what happens. Let me just go. Let me see if there's anything else or note from the press conference. We'll see if Melier is going to be back as well. By the way, he's got glandular fever, but he's having another test, so we'll see if he's fit for the Man City game. Marsh was talking about Erling Haaland, who he coached at Salzburg, and he just joked that he gave him permission to have a small hamstring injury. I wish he would, but he's going to be up for it. He's going to be up for it for people. And our assistant Mark Jackson has been linked with the MK Dons job, so that'll be something to look out for. But yeah, it's gonna be a difficult game. It's gonna be a difficult game, as we know, and we'll get into our score prediction in just a moment. Let me just go for a couple more comments. Graham's just saying, run down contracts, let them walk for free. Not good business, just sentimental. Yeah, I know. The thing is, you know what it is for me, Graham. I've talked about this so many times over the years that I'm almost sick of talking about it in terms of just what you have to do in this kind of business. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, Graham. But yeah, I mean, you only have to look at Arsenal over the past few years, before recent years actually, where they would just let contracts run out and they lost millions and millions worth of talent for free. You know, we're not even anywhere near that with the players we're talking about. But it's bad business. You need to at least get something back on them. But yeah, I don't. Lewis is saying Haaland or not, we get battered either way. I mean, we got no Tyler Adams. And for me, when Tyler Adams is missing against a team like Southampton, I think we're going to lose. So God knows what it's going to be like against Man City. But hey, listen, we didn't think we'd go to Liverpool and win. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, listen. So what's everyone saying now? Let's move on to the Man City game. Let's go on to that. Um, for the people in the building at the moment and for the people that watch after, what are your score predictions for the game? Let's go for it. Let's go. Oh man. Graham just saying, I say it now, nothing is going to happen on transfers. Oh, I hope we're both wrong, Graham. I hope we're both wrong. Bandy just saying, I want glory. If you remember, I wanted us to win the Prem in our first and back, and I thought we could do it. I remember Bandy. I remember. Okay, all right. Ed, Man City 10, Leeds nil. Lewis 7-1 City. Gavin Parry 4-0. Holy moly. Paul Gray 3-0. CJ Lad 0-2. Bandy going for a 2-2 draw. Nico saying 4-1 Man City. Okay, we got a Leeds win. Robert Purnell 1-0 Leeds win. Let's go. Graham Noble is saying 9-1 Man City, 3 Haaland hat tricks. Imagine that. Marching on saying 5-1 City. We got cut to pieces on all the winter break games. Only Monaco showed any ruthlessness. City will punish us. We give the away ball so cheap, and it will be lucky if it's even close. Can't disagree with that. Oh man, I can't disagree with that. D Turley saying 2-4 Man City. Marsh does a lap of honor. No, he won't. He won't do it this time. Ian saying 4-1 Leeds. And Jody is gonna make some money out of this heartache. He's got £5 on a Haaland hat trick. Hey. Now, marching on, it's not being a Debbie Downer. It's about being realistic of where you think we are. Obviously, if we're playing at home against who knows, Everton, maybe you think it's a different result. You know, it's not being Debbie Downer. It's about what you think is going to happen in the next game. So, yeah, man, it's good doing this, man. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. That break was brutal, man. It's good to be back in the saddle, and the content will be coming, thick and fast going forward. So shout out to you, Ash. Billy Big Licks is saying really difficult to predict after the layoff, but hard to see a positive result 3-1. Yeah. Listen, there's a couple of factors. Obviously, we've got to see if Melier is fit for the game. Either way, I think Robles is a decent deputy. But I mean, no Tyler Adams kind of changes the score straight away. Scott Lightning though is saying Somerville, Nanto, Aronson will cause them problems. Hopefully, Scott. That's all we can hope for. I'm gonna go for though. You got to remember, Man City lost their last game against Brentford before the break, didn't they? Oh boy. Oh man. You know what? You know what it is though, guys. It's the Haaland thing. I think he'd score goals anyway, but the fact it's against Leeds, who he does have affection for, just probably means he's going to put a little bit more effort into it as well. Oh man. Yeah, I'm not feeling good about this one. I'm going to say 4-1 Man City, but as always, especially with that, I hope I'm wrong. 4-1 Man City. I miss club football just to predict that, right? I miss club football just to come back and predict the Leeds loss, but I hope you understand where I'm coming from. Lewis is saying, I think Marsh will change to a 4-3-3. Maybe he's been trying a few different things, hasn't he, during training and these friendlies. You got to try and find something that's going to work against this kind of team, but we don't have enough of the ball anyway. Against Man City, yeah, 4-1 might be being optimistic, but listen, we'll see how we get on, won't we? Let me just see. Is there any other bits and pieces that anyone wants to mention just before we get out of here? And thank you for everyone that's joined me so far. I know this was out of the blue after a couple months out, but thank you for joining me anyway. Napa saying KG predicting last means we will win. I hope so, Napa. I hope so. Lewis also like, yeah, please like the video, people. Best way to support the channel. Let me just see anything else. No, I've mentioned absolutely everything that was on the list. But yeah, listen, for the people that have put their score predictions in the predictions on the live chat here, put them in on the video afterwards too. I don't know when I'll be back. Maybe just before the Man City game, possibly. But yeah, listen, everyone. I just want to say to everybody, if I'm not back before Christmas, which is probably unlikely now because I was going to come back on the 24th. Um, yeah, well, hold on. Gerhardt needs a goal. He certainly does. He definitely does. Mm, mm. Possibly, Lewis, possibly. But yeah, listen, I just want to say just before I exit, obviously, everyone have a good Christmas, Merry Christmas, and all that. Happy holidays. If you don't do that, enjoy the time with your fam. And you know, for anybody who's lost anybody recently or in recent times, just enjoy the memories that you had. That's what I would say. Um, just make it a good one. Make it an enjoyable one. Actually, I do want to just quickly shout out something that has been on my mind. Nothing to do with football, but just in regards to losing people. But I don't know if anyone heard, but there was a crushing the um, at the Brixton Academy about just roughly a week ago, and Rebecca Icomello died in that crush. And she leaves two boys behind, one being autistic, and you just think, how do you tell that to your two kids? How does the family tell that to the two kids? Or because people without tickets were going and rushing the doors. Listen, you don't have no tickets, stay in your yard. Just stay in your yard, people. I know there's FOMO. You want to post on social media that you were there. Ain't worth it. There's a mom that's lost now without her two kids. Something that's just been playing on my mind since it happened, man. It's just a sad thing. She used to do stuff as well, talking about kids with autism, her kids with autism, different tips like that. You know, it's just a sad situation. But that's what I mean about Christmas. Enjoy the time with your family, and if you have lost anybody, enjoy the memories. But listen, people, I'll be back very soon. Listen, I had a big break, but the content will be coming thick and fast. Absolutely, it's gonna be brilliant. Rumors, I'm incredible rumors, by the way. We'll talk about all those. So, listen, people, all the best to everybody, and I will see you all very soon. Shout out to you guys and like it before you go. Peace out.